يلا الصباح وين ابو الجوكريه؟ اليوم الساحه لكم وين ابو الجوكريه؟ يلا الصباح يا سيد علي بارك الله فيك الساحه لكم يا عباس حج الشعبي حضور مقرات
U.S. and our allies on alert after that dramatic attack on Iran's top military commander.
Yeah, and Iran's supreme leader is now vowing revenge for the U.S. operation that took out that man, General Qasem Soleimani. He was killed in a missile attack at the airport in Baghdad on Thursday.
The U.S. saying he was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of Americans during the Iraq War, as well as those protests earlier this week at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, also warning that he was actively planning attacks on American diplomats and service members.
And you can see thousands of his supporters taking to the streets protesting this morning. Our chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz starts us off there in Washington. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Robin. Americans are being warned to get out of Iraq immediately after this stunning and dramatic escalation with Iran. And now the world waits for the response from Iran. What they do could have a profound impact on the region, possibly leading to war. And given the threats this morning coming from Iran, a response is almost certain. A fiery heap is all that remained of the motorcade that was carrying Qasem Soleimani, the powerful and revered Quds commander in Iran, a force labeled a terrorist organization by the U.S. Soleimani had just arrived at Baghdad's international airport, climbed into an SUV, and within minutes, he was dead. A sophisticated U.S. drone launching powerful missiles into the vehicles carrying the elite commander and others supporting Iranian-backed militias. An image of Soleimani's hand from the smoldering wreckage emerging with a large ring he was known to wear. The Pentagon saying in a statement last night that Soleimani was actively developing plans to attack American diplomats and service members, adding that the strike was aimed at deterring future Iranian attack plans. Soleimani in the crosshairs after the death of an American contractor last week and the attack on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad that followed. President Trump, who gave the final order to take out the Iranian official from his Florida retreat Mar-a-Lago, silent overnight, except for this American flag tweet. Directly targeting a senior Iranian military official is a major escalation in Trump's confrontation with Iran and his so-called maximum pressure campaign, which he began after withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal, followed by crippling sanctions. Soleimani himself blasting the president in a speech last year. Let me tell you, Mr. Trump, the gambler, he said, know that we are near you in places that don't come to your mind. Soleimani is a hero in Tehran for his battlefield exploits dating back to the Iran-Iraq War in the 80s and the U.S. war in Iraq, where his Quds force is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of U.S. troops in Iraq, according to the State Department. But Soleimani was also a leader in the fight against ISIS. A mix of intelligence and special operations, the Quds Force conducts deadly operations and leads fighters throughout the region, including in Syria's civil war to support the brutal dictator Bashar al-Assad. Iran is all but certain to retaliate for the assassination, with fears of an escalation that could spiral into war. Iran's powerful Ayatollah saying this morning of his right-hand man, his efforts and path won't be stopped by his martyrdom, by God's power. Rather, a severe revenge awaits the criminals who have stained their hands with his and the other martyrs' blood last night. Martyr Soleimani is an international figure of resistance, and all such people will seek revenge. U.S. troops in the region are already on high alert, days after the embassy compound in Baghdad was stormed by a pro-Iranian militia and its supporters. The two-day siege forced Marines to deploy tear gas, an Apache helicopter to fire off flares in warning. That attack came after U.S. airstrike Sunday killed 25 militia members, a retaliation for the death of that U.S. contractor last Friday. The U.S. has deployed 14,000 troops to the Middle East since May, an additional 850 arriving just this week. All of them now potential targets for an Iranian response. Israel is also on heightened alert this morning, and others across the region. And while Soleimani was responsible for the death of so many American forces in the past, it is unclear how this ends. Robin.
Martha, please help people understand how significant this is and how big of a blow this could be to Iran.
It is such a blow, and as you saw, thousands of mourners did take to the streets across Iran this morning after Friday prayers. There were three main chants: death to America, death to Britain, and revenge, revenge, something we will likely hear a lot more of in the coming days. Robin.
All right, Martha.
Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. My name is Amon Gabar, back with another lesson, Lord willing, to edify and to feed the lambs of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua through the Holy Spirit, Rakakwadash. Now, as brothers may already know, what happened last night was the U.S. Trump, he commissioned an airstrike that actually killed a top Iranian general, commander, all right, Qasem Soleimani, all right, and he's a very revered commander, and the people are in uproar about this, what just took place. And this is a big thing, all right. This is a big thing, and it's not something small. And you've seen a video in the intro, and this is an article I just pulled up, which is published literally. Let me update it. A minute ago. It was updated a minute ago. All right, and it says Iran News. This is from independent.uk.com or independent.co.uk. It says Iran News live. Trump claims Qasem Soleimani was plotting to kill Americans and tells U.S. citizens to leave Iraq after the killing of Iran's top general. So this is urgent, urgent announcement to have Americans flee Iraq after what just happened. Why? Because of the fear of retaliation, and retaliation by the way of death or hostages. All right. Now, let me just read a few of this, and then I'll go to some scriptures. It says Donald Trump and his top diplomat, Mike Pompeo, have claimed Qasem Soleimani possessed an imminent threat to American lives that justified the airstrike that killed him in Baghdad last night. The U.S. president said Iranian general was plotting to kill U.S. citizens, but neither he nor Mr. Pompeo provided additional details to support the claim. Americans in Iraq have been urged to leave immediately in the wake of the killing. Now let's see if these people are able to leave immediately. Let's see how this play out. Nevertheless, we know what's playing out right here is biblical prophecy, and World War III drums are literally beating right now. All right, or metaphorically beating right now, I should say. Now let's go to some scriptures real quick, all right, because the scriptures foretells you about these world wars. This is Revelation 9 and 12. One war was past, and behold, there come two more wars hereafter. All right, one war was talking about World War I. All right, World War I, which came and went. All right, and that too was it was a series of events that took place, but one of the things that triggered was the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. All right, which really set it off. So one war was past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So the two more woes is talking about two more world wars. This is talking about World War I. One war was past, and two more cometh. Now let's go to Revelation 11 and 12. It says, the second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, which, we know about that concerning Nazi Germany and all of that. So the second woe, which was one of the woes mentioned in Revelation 9, this is talking about the second woe. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Now, You're not going to read in the scriptures where it says the third woe is past and here comes the fourth. No, because it stops at World War III. It stops at the third woe. Now there's a quote by I believe it was Albert Einstein. He said something along the effects that World War IV will be fought with sticks and bones, or something like that. We fought with sticks. In other words, making reference to after World War III, this world pretty much is gonna be sent back into a caveman state, or into a Stone Age state, making reference to say that this World War III will be the war to end all wars. All right, this will be the end of humanity. This will be the end of everything that these Edomites have worked for, that everything that this society or past kingdoms and everything that have ever been established, this will be the end. But really and truly, according to the scriptures, World War III will be the end of Esau's kingdom. All right, and the beginning of Jacob's kingdom. You know? So no, the world is not going to be destroyed in this coming World War III. This is Mark 13:7. It says, "And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet." And this is the time period we're living in now. All right, even though this was spoken of years ago, or this is going into the prophecy when you read down about the abomination of desolation. All right, this is a prophecy that's taking place right now. Okay, this is taking place right now. This is the end time prophecies. It says, "And when ye shall hear," because Yahushua, which is who the world called Jesus Christ, when he came on the scene, began the end days. All right, now we living in the final chapter of these end days, the final pages of this book called America. All right. So it says, "And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet." All right, so we hearing of wars and rumors of wars. We hearing about what happened. We're hearing about, who got assassinated, who got killed. All right, but this is not the end all be all. This is not World War III. These are the beginning of World War III. All right. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows." So nations are rising against nations. We have troubles among these nations. We have allies versus other allies. Allies versus enemies. You're gonna have eventually. Russia's gonna have to make a move on this. All right, eventually Russia's gonna have to make a move on this, because Russia has a larger investment over there in Iran, and Iran is one of the largest and most richest in oil in that region of the world. So, and it's one of the last strongholds that America haven't taken down as yet. So this is why you're gonna have all these controversies going on in these places. So it says, "But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to the council, and in synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for testimony against them." Now, while this is happening, all right, these drum wars, these war drums beating, while that's happening, what's also happening? On the flip side of things, all right, the media is demonizing the Hebrew Israelites. All right. Esau is marking us as the new face of terrorism. So these prophecies are actually happening hand in hand in this proper order. Rumors of wars and us being accused for the testimony of Yahushua. It says, "And the gospel must first be published among all nations." And is not the gospel published first among all nations? Absolutely. Publish means to make public. Now, all nations are talking about throughout the four corners of the earth. The gospel, the good news, this word have been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Everywhere you go in this world, at major cities, major places, there's Israelites there, and people who know that that they are Israelites, and people who have seen these videos of the Hebrew Israelites. All right, started with the apostles on down. It says, but when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do you premeditate. But whatsoever shall be given in you in that hour, that speak ye. For it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Spirit. So we don't, we don't have a plan book, so to speak, a playbook of things that we write down. Okay, when they deliver me, this is what I'm gonna tell them. We don't do that. But we mentally prepare ourselves, and yeah, we might meditate within ourselves on how things are gonna happen, how the Most High might make it happen. But it's Yahweh Shah have the ultimate say so, and He's gonna be the one to put the Spirit on us when that time do come when we deliver up. It says, now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father, the son, and children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. And he shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. All right, because that's the point of demonization, to turn your families against you. All right, to turn everyone that you know against you. Paint that picture that you are, this evil person. All right. This is the book of Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. All right, now what is this talking about? Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles are the other nations. Prepare war. All right, prepare war. Now the apostle Torah have been prophesying that for years, all right, through the scriptures, that U.S. was eventually going to go into Iran, and this is a step into U.S. invading Iran and so on and so forth. It was an attack on an Iranian official, all right, and an Iranian commander, and commanders, they represent war, so you can't just hit somebody's commander and expect nothing to not happen. So it says, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. The mighty men talking about the militaries of these other nations. It says, beat your plowshares into sword. A plowshare is a cultivating tool used to cultivate land. So beat your plowshare, beat your tool that you use to cultivate land into a weapon, and your pruning hook into a spear, which is a weapon. So this is talking about, these countries, these nations, taking their resources, all right, they're cultivating resources, their money into, and then converting that into building weapons. All right, and that's what you have. You have these nations that are putting their money towards their nuclear arms, because World War III is going to be fought by fire. All right, it says, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourself together round about. Thither cause the mighty one to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Now the valley of Jehoshaphat is talking about over there in the land of the Middle East, which that word Jehoshaphat means Yahweh and Shaphat, which means the Most High's judgment. All right, because this, what's going to happen is all judgment from the Most High. All right. When you read up above, it says, because you have cast lots for my people. All right, now this is all going to happen because this is the judgment for all these nations, all right, for putting their hands on the apple of the Lord's eyes, which are Israel. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. All right, the harvest is ripe. The harvest is talking about the end of the world. All right, and you read that over here in Matthew 13 and 37. It says, and he answered and said to them, he that sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked ones. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. So the angels, all right, when you read Revelation, the 7th chapter, the Lord told the angels to hold back the four winds of the earth and hurt not the earth. The earth is going to be hurt by the way of World War III. Thermonuclear fire. That's how the world is going to be hurt. So the Lord told the reapers, the angels, to hold back the four winds. All right, because the harvest is not ready at that time until the elect be sealed. So now the harvest is being ready. The end of the world is being made ready. So these angels are about to lose them 4 winds. All right. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9. It says, verse 5, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So every war, all right, for every battle is fought with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, hand-on-hand combat. All right, thousands of soldiers coming from one end to the other end, clashing and colliding with each other with swords. All right, standing afar off with arrows, stabbing each other, killing each other, physically touching and harming each other. Those are the old way of battle. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. What kind of fuel? Huh? What kind of fuel is that talking about? It's talking about that nuclear fuel, that uranium. All right, the fuel that it takes to build a nuclear rocket, a nuclear weapon. That's the fuel of fire. Not talking about gasoline. All right, ain't talking about pouring gasoline on a bunch of on troops and lighting a matchstick. This is talking about nuclear fire. All right. So this is what World War III is gonna be like. What it's gonna entail, and this was a major step and a beautiful step in starting the year 2020, which is the year of prophecy. So, just a quick update with that. I'm gonna end it and say shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel.